Mabuhay ka pamilya. Welcome to TFC. For English instructions, press 1. Para sa
Oh.
Tagalog, press 2.
Wow.
That's me. And then they were like, if you're like that, you're not gonna be anywhere in this industry. See, I still remember because that's how rare you speak. it leaves a mark.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Kwentuhang Creative Podcast. Sitting next to me is a very multi-talented guy, the extra guy / Bryan Yap.
Yay!
Welcome to the podcast, and thank you for
Thank you.
accepting my invitation.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Keshi, and hello to your viewers.
Yeah. How was the drive?
Yeah, I think there was a crash going to freeway. That's why I had to reroute to
Yeah.
Ballarat Road. But it was good. Yeah,
There's always a crash,
there's always.
especially in this area. Like the traffic's crazy.
Yeah, it's a choke point, like bottleneck kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So bad.
So there's something that I'm really curious about.
Hmm.
Why? Because I always see it when you post on Facebook. Like, why the extra guy?
Why
does
the
it
extra
mean?
guy? Yeah. That is actually a good question. Actually, I have an answer to that, and so, uh, back in 2017 when I moved here, so you know, I tried doing this extras job kind of thing, and the very first TV series that I went to or that I did my gig to, the extra background extra gig to, was The Wrong Girl. Yeah, The Wrong Girl. Was it The Wrong Girl? Yeah, The Wrong
I don't
Girl.
know.
Yeah. The Wrong Girl. Yeah. So yeah, that's when I thought when I was posting on my Instagram. No, actually, that is actually a good handle since
Yeah.
that was also the first time that I created an Instagram account. I was
Mm.
really not planning to have Instagram or whatever socials, but then a friend of mine suggested, "Hey Brian, why don't you, like, since you're doing acting anyway, you're doing you're gonna be in the industry, so why not create an Instagram account?"
Yeah.
And then, like I said, the very first project that I've done was to be an extra for The Wrong Girl. So I thought, so I'm the extra guy
Yeah.
in The Wrong Girl. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
when
So what was the role?
ah
If-
just
in
in
the
the background.
background,
Yeah,
yeah.
just like a
Like
party
just
guy.
there?
Yeah,
Ah.
party. I
Yeah.
wasn't even recognizable in that one.
Yeah. But you're not just the extra guy now, because you do a lot of
Ah,
things. Can you give me a list of things that you do?
um, actually, there are at this point there are there are heaps now. I mean, yeah. But again, I still consider myself as extra. Like I'm doing this niche, like this acting gigs during my extra time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm still considering myself as extra guy. But as far as how many projects I've done, um, yeah, actually it's marami na. Yeah, I couldn't even count it in my hands. Maybe as we go along, I can
Yeah.
because I have different experiences with those projects as well, and there were some interesting like backstory as to
Yeah.
how I got those roles. So maybe as we move along, I can share those experiences, and our viewers could actually know that, oh, you've done this project pala as well. You've done this project as well. So yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
but it's more than 10, like
Yeah.
heaps
Yeah.
at this point.
I'm not sure if I'm remembering it correctly, but you only started doing these acting gigs here in Australia?
Yes.
What made
Yes.
you start doing those things?
So yeah, that was actually I was looking for I was only looking for a voiceover gig when I moved here. Um so backstory was I moved here in Australia 2017. um, as soon as I got my work rights, I looked for a voiceover job or voiceover gig because back in the Philippines, oh, even though I'm not an actor or whatever, I'm doing some sort of uh, IVR kind of thing,
Like
like
voice over.
voiceover. So at one point, um, I was doing like ringside announcement for an
Mm.
MMA event. Like,
Can you give me a sample?
oh yeah, of course. Um, here from the blue corner, weighing in at 145 pounds, his official record 5 wins, 0 losses. Representing Melbourne, Australia, please welcome. Let's give it
Jerome.
up for Jerome the Hitman
Woo!
Guevara. Woo!
That's so
Yeah. So
cool.
yeah, I was doing that as well. Um. So yeah, and also basketball basketball courtside announcement like Jerome for three, something like that. So I was doing it in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Um, so I thought of maybe my voice could have a place here in Australia as well because during that time I know nothing about what's in what's not here.
Mm.
Um, also um, speaking of IVR, so IVR is when you call in a call center,
Mm-hmm.
may magasalta na mabuhay, welcome to blah 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 for English
Mm.
instructions.
Yeah.
So is it okay if I mention?
Yeah.
Okay,
We don't
so
have any
uh,
affiliations or
oh yeah, of course,
restrictions.
yeah.
It's just a
So
DIY podcast.
well, actually, some of my friends who heard my voice when I did this, they were so surprised because they used to call the call center, the customer service.
Mm-hmm.
Mabuhay ka pamilya. Welcome to TFC. For English instructions, press 1. Para sa
Oh,
Tagalog, press 2. That's
wow.
me.
There you go,
You sound
everyone.
like that guy in the airport, in the airplane that goes, "Good morning, this is Philippine Airlines."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sound like that.
Yeah, so I thought baka pwedeng gawin ko rin siya dito. And when I applied, like, Google, the power of Google, I applied to or I searched for voiceover gigs and stuff. But then my search sent me to like a different path, like acting, extras.
Mm.
So I got contacted by 3 different agencies, and they invited me to be part of their boutique,
Mm-hmm.
their pool of actors, and that's when it started. I signed up with one, and I'm actually so lucky because the one that I signed in with is pretty seasoned in the field,
Mm-hmm.
and she said, like, she was so transparent, like she said the likes of you, the features of you will be most likely be cast as background or as extra
Mm.
dahil nga it's really seldom for you to see Asian guy, like
Yeah.
Asian adult guy doing acting gigs, acting stuff, because most of us are either in corporate job or in IT or in
Yeah.
nursing, So yeah, and she was actually right. My first 6 months as as an extra, I've been getting like consistently 2 to 3 TV shows or TV series a week.
Mm-hmm.
So it was good money. That's
Yeah.
when I was like, oh, okay, so this is not as good as having like regular 9 to 5, but it's gonna give me the flexibility that I need. Especially we were at that point we were like a young couple
Mm.
planning to have our family. So that's when it started. Or maybe I can, make, take advantage of the situation, earning money while having this flexibility. So yeah.
Yeah. And do you have, as most creative people do you have like a day job on top of those?
Um actually it is not a day job, but it's also part of the gig
Mm-hmm.
because like my meat and beef. So I mean that's where I regularly get my income from is through Hey Ho, the children show,
Yeah.
like the educational show. So I've been with Hey Ho since I moved here as well, and it was also I was also got lucky to be on board because when I auditioned, I was actually auditioning with people who are musically inclined, like studied music and
Mm.
stuff. But the only thing was when I did my demo. As soon as I entered the room, I haven't done anything yet, and the kids were like, "You're so funny! You're so funny!" I was like, "I haven't done anything yet." And then immediately my boss during that time, she was like, "I like you. We're gonna hire you.
Yeah.
People love you. Kids love you." So that's when it started, and up to now, I'm doing it. So yeah, I think it is a good balance because it is my regular gig,
Yeah.
and at the same time, my boss. I'm really thankful to my boss because she's been very supportive from day one. Like she was like, you can take whatever commercials, TV series jobs
Mm.
that you can, given that you're gonna give me heads up, so that I can shadow you or I can do the presentation on your behalf.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really lucky to have that gig, and up to now, I'm still doing it, and we still have the same routine. So if I have like a project or a commercial or a TV series shoot, I can just tell my boss, and then she'll be like, "Okay, I'll do the show for you, and then next week make sure that you're gonna show up."
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's good because at least with Heidi Ho,
Heidi ho, yeah,
yeah, it's still like a creative kind of job. Because for me, if
yes,
you say it's a day job, it would be something completely unrelated to
correct,
any
correct,
not necessarily a bad thing, but I feel like as a creative person, I would prefer to work in a creative field if I have a
exactly,
choice.
exactly,
Yeah,
yeah,
but yeah, I'm just like you. I'm pretty lucky to be able to be working sort of full time now as a video editor. So
yeah,
like I don't have to do retail jobs or whatever.
correct, yeah.
So yeah.
I've been, I'm also following your journey, and I've been seeing your Instagram and Facebook posts. Now you are doing good, so good job.
Thanks. Yeah. That's all we gotta do now. Keep on working hard till you
Yeah,
get to that point where you're working, I guess, full time or
yeah. I
yeah.
actually have read it somewhere. I don't know if it was from The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you want to pursue something, if you want to do a passion or something, like you just have to catalyze the time, the time that you have. So the balance is gonna be you're doing your full time job, your money earning job, and then during your free time do your passion until it became like 50% your full-time job and 50% your passion until you fully move
Yeah.
to what you want to do.
Yeah.
Luckily, even in my case, I'm just lucky that even the day job, it is also related to the industry like entertainment
Yeah.
and also singing,
Yeah.
because even though I'm just singing nursery rhymes, yeah, my vocal cords are being practiced
Yeah.
to the point that this is actually odd. Like I just discovered that I can reach high notes. Imagine how low my
Mm,
voice is.
that's interesting.
Yeah, and I was able to unlock my high notes or my high register just because of
Yeah.
singing
Yeah.
continuously. So even though they are just nursery rhymes, but as long as you're practicing, you're doing it, and you're you're enhancing your voice every time you perform. I think it really helps.
Yeah, practice makes perfect.
Correct.
And like even amazing singers like let's say Regine Velasquez,
Yes.
they didn't just wake up one day and they're amazing at it. They practice.
Correct.
So,
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. You do a little bit of acting, you do voice overs,
Mm-hmm.
you do musical shows for Haiti Ho, and you do radio as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So what exactly do you do on that radio?
Broadcasting.
Mm-hmm.
Broadcasting. It is actually my childhood dream to be a news anchor or to be a TV news
Announcer.
anchor, presenter,
Yeah.
newscaster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was my childhood dream. But then, since I didn't study journalism or mass comm, I don't know if it's related. Since I didn't study that, and then when I moved here, I was invited to be a guest in a radio program, and then they offered me like a free training. Yeah. So I trained, and in return, I'll be producing one of the 4 programs of the Filipino Broadcasting Group.
Ah, yeah.
So yeah, and now I'm doing the Hoy Pinoy, 3 to 4 p.m. Wednesdays. Yeah, plugging, shameless plug.
Competition.
Competition.
This podcast is also coming out every Wednesday.
Oh yeah.
Well, at least you have 2 shows to look out for now.
Correct. Yeah.
Wednesday.
Correct. Yeah.
So do you play like Filipino songs in that radio?
Yes. So kumbaga, it's we need to make the people, the Filipinos, feel that they're listening a radio station from the Philippines. That's why I must say we're strictly playing OPM.
Okay.
Yeah, original Filipino music. So regardless of genre.
Okay. Do you play Gento? Do you know SB19?
No, I actually haven't.
So more on like old school OPMs or
because the thing is, if we're not going through the theme of the day or the theme of the broadcast, we're gonna do our own lineup. And in my case, I love listening to like Filipino alternative rock or love songs or duets. So yun yung sa akin.
Yeah.
But I think with the other programs, they're playing like popular music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Filipino.
Filipino.
Well?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So there's like multiple.
Yeah, we have
programs
4 programs
for Filipino.
Yeah, for
radios.
Filipino. Yeah, different
Ah.
days: Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, because I've only heard of Hoy Pinoy. I didn't know about the other programs.
Yeah. Well, according to the president of the radio station, Hoy Pinoy is the best.
I wonder why.
Well, I think it's the vibes that we give to the people because
Yeah.
knowing that you're a broadcasting network with the Hoy Pinoy crew, we make it so point that we're doing it like the feels of listening to an FM radio back in the Philippines.
Yeah.
So that's how we do it. Like there are lots of stingers. Stingers? Is it stingers? Stringers?
I
Stingers?
don't know what that
Yeah.
is.
So stingers. The topics are so laid back. Lots of laughter, as if it's kind of podcast ish.
Yeah.
Kind of broadcasting approach, but it's still fruitful. Like it's our way of serving the community, not just for for spreading the news and whatever, but giving them the good vibes as
Yeah.
well.
Do you have a co-host or?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my co-hosts are Kuya Kit, and then I used to co-host with. Now she's in SBS, Claudette. So she's now working in SBS.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I
her name
only
is
know Miss
Claudette.
Smart.
Oh yeah. So she's one.
Okay.
She's with Maridel,
Yep.
and then Tito Andy,
Okay.
Andy Cabrera. So they are the pioneers of Hoy Pinoy. So I was the
Mm.
last edition, and then now, we're currently training. Um, if you you haven't been to Philippines to listen to to radio there. So there was this popular DJ. Her name is, or her DJ name back in the Philippines was DJ Angelina.
Okay.
Yeah.
What
Um.
what radio station? I only remember listening to like Papa Jack and
Yeah, like
uh
93 point something.
okay.
Yeah, I forgot the radio station, but she was a popular personality on radio, and she
Mm.
was also a celebrity back home.
Mm.
GMA 7 artist, and now she's undergoing training to be my partner in Wednesday group.
Ah,
Yeah,
nice.
so it's gonna be fun.
Nice.
Yeah,
Have you done any radio
back
thing
in
in
the
the
Philippines.
Philippines? Yeah.
No.
So just like voice
Yeah.
overs and stuff.
Yes, everything that I'm doing here in terms of the in the creative side. So when I say in on the creative side, in the industry, acting, singing, well, aside from singing, because I was a wedding singer back
Mm.
then. Um, but acting, the radio, I didn't have the chance to do it back home
Mm-hmm.
because it is something sad that even though you are well equipped to do something, like when you say well equipped, like skilled and stuff, but if you're not a graduate of a certain craft,
Mm.
then it's a no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's how we work, that's how Filipinos work, that's how Filipinos profile who's going to be in a particular job.
Yeah.
And since I didn't finish college then, so yeah, no chance for me to be in the industry.
Oh well. Now
Yeah.
you're doing it here.
Yeah, that's why I'm just maximizing what I can do here, taking advantage of, the projects that are coming in,
Mm.
and yeah, striking the iron while it's hot.
Yeah. What would be your favorite gig that you've done in the Philippines then? Or most
Favorite
memorable?
uh the one that I've done, like what when I was in the Philippines,
Mm.
or well, being a wedding singer,
Mm-hmm.
being a wedding singer. I was able to like travel Philippines. Yeah,
Mm.
because I've been like invited to sing in the Calarwega Church in Batangas. So it's very popular, like
Mm-hmm.
a wedding
Destination. Yeah.
destination. So there was a point that I was in Batangas every month because people are getting married,
Wow.
especially during June.
Okay.
Because it's a thing in the Philippines, the June bride thing.
Mm.
So yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, what else? Yeah, the because being a wedding singer, it also gives me like different experiences, and you know connected me to lots of people as well. Oh yeah, there's one time I sang in the beach
Hmm.
wedding, Boracay. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I was a wedding singer of so they own a villa
Oh,
in Boracay. So
Station Zero
I don't know,
or one?
rainbow something.
Oh, okay.
Um yeah, all expense paid.
Wow.
Yeah,
Sana all.
yeah. The the trans transport, accommodation.
Mm.
So yung the event was just for 1 day,
Mm.
but then we stayed in Boracay for 4 days.
Wow.
Yeah, so 1 day, like the first day is to rest. The following day was to the celebration, the actual wedding celebration, and then
Mm-hmm.
the following 2 days just enjoy Boracay, all
Yeah.
expense paid,
Yeah. As they should.
and still I got paid
Yeah.
because I was the wedding singer.
Yeah. That's what I love with working on weddings because I do wedding photography as
Yeah,
well
yeah.
on the side. And not just with, well, for weddings, uh one of the things that I love about it is, usually weddings are full of love. Although
Yes.
sometimes there's drama in a wedding.
Have you experienced like drama in a wedding setting?
um there is one wedding where I can't really say that there's a drama going. Well, there is drama going on, but I didn't realize that there's drama going on.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I guess I was just trying to focus on my job.
Right, right.
Just
Fair, yeah.
people are smiling, take photos.
Correct.
Maybe they're like smiling, like it's probably like fake smile.
Yeah.
But I didn't notice. Yeah, and I guess I feel like it's natural to have some level of drama because it's a wedding. At some point, people would feel stressed.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I enjoy doing weddings mostly because it's usually full of love. It's people, family celebrating
Right.
love. So yeah, and yeah, just like with your experience, going to different places, I really enjoy that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Diba? It's
yeah,
so good.
yeah, and not just with wedding because I've experienced like going to say to like Queensland and Sydney for work
Mhm.
doing photography. So yeah, I guess I chose the right path.
Yeah, yeah.
Like if I continue to do my business studies, I don't think I would be doing that. So yeah. So what was your family or friends' reaction when you start doing the extra gigs?
Um, actually, some of my friends, well, most of my close friends, they weren't surprised at all.
Mm.
Yeah, because they've been pushing me even when I was in the Philippines to be an actor, like do this, do that. Um, join the contest, join whatever. But um, I had I had not so pleasant experiences back in the Philippines.
Like auditioning? Have
Um,
you auditioned?
yeah, I only auditioned once,
Okay.
and that one audition like gave me
Oh.
the impression of, nah, this is not for me.
Mm.
I'm not gonna push myself to this
Why?
one.
Can you share?
Um, oh sure. It was actually a kind of frustrating experience.
Mm-hmm.
So I joined this certain like national competition
Mm.
in the Philippines. So it's a popular from, I think it's from a popular network. Can I say
I don't mind. I would like
it?
it. I really want to know what it is. So please tell me. I don't mind.
Oh yeah, well, so it's a um it was from Channel 7 Pinoy Pop Superstar.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So
Is that the one where Sarah had only
yes.
one? Yeah.
Yeah. So what happened there? What happened then was, so we were down to like 100,
Mm.
down to 100, and then we're doing our, like one of the judges were in were in the audition room. So I think he was the one who's filtering who's gonna be matched up to
Mm.
whom, you know. But then I noticed that there is something going on. Like there was this guy. He sang "Bridge Over Troubled Water,"
Mm-hmm.
and that song. It's like a powerful,
Yeah, it's very emotional.
emotional song, and he sang it in a way that amateur singers are singing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're forcing your vibrato, like
Yeah.
"Sail on, silver girl." He was
Okay.
singing like that,
Yeah.
and he's a Philam.
Mm-hmm.
So there was this expectation that if you're a Philam, at least your accent should show while you're singing, at
Mm.
least.
It usually doesn't when you sing though. Right.
But with the expectation, because
Yeah.
you're gonna be aired on national
Yeah.
TV. We have a certain expectation. Um, and then this guy, this judge. I'm not gonna mention the name.
Yeah.
We don't want to be controversial. He was like, "Oh wow, such a magnificent voice." Even the people who were sitting next to me, we were like,
What are you talking about?
so it gave us the blank face.
Mm.
As soon as we went out, we only to find out that that guy, that singer, was actually a talent of Kuya Germs, the late Kuya
Okay.
Germs, Herman Moreno.
Yeah.
So I think it's obviously the pathway.
Mm.
It's obviously the pathway for him to be in the network. And then during the match up, so he's been matched up against me. Our names have been our names has been aired on TV
Okay.
already.
Oh, so it was actually on TV.
No,
Or
not
is it
yet.
before?
Not yet. So we
Okay.
were taping it. We were
Okay.
taping it. But then, before you air it, you're gonna post the names of who's gonna compete for the following weeks or so.
Yeah.
So even my friends, even my uncle, he saw my name. So
Mhm.
like, oh Brian, you're gonna be, we're looking forward to it. You were looking forward. And then I got paired up to this guy. And I know that he's not he's not gonna he's not he's not gonna win.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not me being boastful, but I know my caliber then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
because-
if you know singing, you would
Yeah.
know just by
Yeah.
listening.
Few weeks before our taping, I got a call stating from the same judge during one of the like screening or something. He was like, "Oh, we actually found out that you are a professional, blah blah blah."
Hmm.
So backstory was I was a professional singer trainer. I was
Okay.
licensed by TESDA. So TESDA is the um as a singer trainer, I do train overseas performers. So those who are flying for Japan, Korea,
Mm.
Malaysia at the age of 19.
Wow.
So I was licensed by TESDA to like sign whoever's gonna perform. That's why I know who is capable and not
Yeah.
capable, who has the quality and who doesn't have the quality.
Yeah.
That's why when I heard him sing, I was like, "You're gonna eat dust. You're gonna eat dust."
Yeah.
But then I was like, "Oh, Brian, we found out that you're a professional." So like I defended myself. I'm a professional singer trainer, but not a professional
Singer.
singer.
Yeah.
I'm not a professional performer, and
Yeah.
that's the reason why I'm auditioning here, because I wanna explore that side of art.
Yeah.
But then he was like, "Yeah, and all because we're not allowing any professionals here. All of these guys are just amateurs. Blah blah blah." Amateurs, but you can hear the others. They're
Yeah.
like singing professionally and then joining
Yeah.
competition. So I know those are just BS. And then the last thing that he said was, and another thing, your voice sound like Gary V, and we don't want to, we don't want people from our pool of talents to be profiled as we're just mimicking someone from the opposing network.
Mm.
From then I was like, I knew it. Okay. And then I got disqualified.
It's
I didn't-
supposed to be like a singing show.
It was actually interesting that I got, well, for me it was a pride.
Mm-hmm.
For me it was a pride, like, okay, since you cannot eliminate me in an actual singing competition, then
Yeah.
you're disqualifying me for the grounds that I couldn't control.
Yeah.
So it was a pride, but then it gave me the the turn off
Mm.
where I was like, so if this is good, if this how dirty this industry is, so I'm not gonna push myself to it.
Yeah.
So that was my first and last audition, and after that, I've heard from my friends. That friend of mine, she was actually she was shortlisted to play Kim, Miss Saigon, London. So that's how good she was.
Mm-hmm.
So she entered this competition from the opposing network. Um, they gave her a song that wouldn't highlight her vocal range and stuff.
Yeah.
Versus this kid, they gave this kid, like 11-year-old kid, like something that would explore her high notes and everything, like a Regine Velasquez kind of song. So if you're gonna sing a mellow song versus a Regine Velasquez song,
Yeah.
who would people choose? You know what I'm saying? And so I know that it's their way of eliminating her.
Mm.
And you know, it's even though it's not, it's an unwritten rule.
Yeah.
Like if this girl, because this girl is, yeah, the girl in my understanding, she's also under a management from that network.
There's a certain pattern.
Yeah, yeah. So that's why, okay, so this industry is just proving me right. So hands off. So I'm just gonna enjoy being like a regular performer, being a wedding singer, and that's it. And yeah, so that's when that's where the singing part went. With the acting, with the acting. So I met with some directors, and they were like, there were most of them were like indecent proposals. Like, okay, we're gonna give you a feature role, but we want you to like show some skin. Yeah, because indie, you know, the pathway to mainstream is indie
Yeah.
during that time. So they gave me a choice whether to do a male to male, like French kiss scene, or like a butt and frontal exposure, in which I refused. And then they were like, oh, if you're like that, you're not gonna be anywhere in this industry. If you are that picky, then you are nothing. And I was like, okay, thanks for giving me that. You know, thanks for giving me
Feedback.
that feedback. Thanks for giving me that, you know, that impression
Yeah.
towards this industry that I was looking up to.
Interesting.
Yeah, that I was looking up to the industry, but then when I experienced those things, I was like, nah, this is not for me.
Yeah.
And then, but also it gave me the drive, like, look at me now, like because I am still friends, like Facebook friends with those directors, and look at me now. Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. Yeah,
Keeping them close, huh?
yeah, of course, of course. I want to feed them with my success. Yeah. There you go. I'm not gonna
I
be
love
successful,
that.
huh? I'm not gonna be successful, huh?
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Interesting.
yeah. So, but yeah, it was really sad. That's why I didn't believe in, you know, the industry. It personal experience, but it can be different from other people. Yeah, because um I've heard, and I think this is the norm nowadays, that for you to be able to be on the, like, on a reality show side or like contest, you must have this relatable or sellable backstory. So just like there was this kid who was selling banana Q,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, selling banana Q, and then they asked this kid to join this certain singing contest, and then she won. Well, in fairness to the kid, she's very good. In fairness to the kid, she's very good. But then with the competition, I could see someone is way better than her. But because of the sympathy, because of the story, because it gives hope to people. Oh, she's from banana cube vendor to a millionaire, like a successful
Yeah.
grand champion. So that's the, you know, the Cinderella story that people are watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the sellable story for them. And in my case, I don't have a story to sell because, like, I live a happy life. I live a, you know, I'm living comfortably. I
Yeah.
live like drama less life in
Yeah.
that sense. Yeah, because I'm just chill. So what story? Nothing. So I'm boring. And yeah, nada. You're not for this, you know. So yeah.
Yeah. Just like you, I didn't do any film or TV kind of job in the Philippines. I only started doing it here because I used to do business when I was a student. So it was like, for me, it's very interesting hearing stories about the industry in the Philippines. I
Yeah.
only hear, stories from the news,
Correct,
the
correct.
Chica Minute, whatever goes on, but not actual real people's experiences, like people that I know personally.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think, maybe I'm just, again, maybe I'm just, one of the few, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe I'm one of the many. We don't know. But then, yeah, I'm just talking based on my experience, and that's about it. Maybe if it was a good experience, well, or let's paraphrase it. Um, if I haven't experienced those things, I think it was a blessing in disguise,
Mm-hmm.
because now I'm doing everything that I wanted to do way back, without those feeling of anxiety that I might experience this kind of thing again when I do it here in Australia, because
Mm.
I noticed that in here when I audition for like casting and stuff, it is all talent based.
Yeah.
The feature
Very
is,
professional.
yeah, like if you are good in what you're doing, then they're gonna get you, no
Yeah.
matter how good looking or how bad looking you are. If they feel like you fit this particular role or this particular job or whatever, they're gonna get you. As opposed to back in the Philippines, the experience was, you're not good looking enough, you're not blah 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 enough, you're not this, you're not that
Oh,
enough. So that's why you're gonna see people repetitive faces
yeah.
all over and over, because
Yeah.
that's what matters. It's not what you
It's
know,
like
but
who's
how.
trending.
It's not what your talent is all about, but it's how they can market you.
Yeah.
That's why it's more of the story, not your skill.
Yeah.
It's more of how we can market you than your talent.
Yeah. And it's not that we're saying that they're not talented.
Yeah, yeah,
They are talented. Obviously, that's why they're actresses and
yeah.
actors and singers. But I've noticed the same thing growing up, that sometimes there are more talented people who are not getting the same amount of recognition because they're not. I feel like it's a bit getting a bit better now in terms of, like, especially with like female actors,
Yeah,
um that are not, I guess, traditionally beautiful in the eyes when it comes to acting
yeah.
industry. They're getting a bit more recognition now.
Correct. Yeah. Imagine
But
the
yeah.
imagine the imagine casting like people who look so clean and making them dirty.
Oh yeah, they always do that. And they'll just put like
Yeah,
black makeup like this and here and
yeah.
here.
Instead of getting someone who could literally, embody that role,
Yeah.
if anything, it's just one scene or whatever. But yeah,
We actually talked about that with the one of the episodes. I think it was you, Jerm, who mentioned the Amaya.
No, no,
Amaya,
no. It was what's the Luna
Luna
Luna Sangre.
Blanca or
Luna
something,
Blanca.
where
It's a
it's like the
show.
twin,
Oh,
There's twins. One's like very light skin, and the
and the
other
other
one
ones,
is very dark skin.
and they both would just
I don't know.
The other one is
painted
pretty
him with
much
black.
blackface. So yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. But I think, yeah, we talked about Amaya as well, where
Mm,
there's the characters are supposed to be like native
correct, correct.
Filipinos, and then the main character is, has a Spanish background.
Background. Correct. Yeah, yeah.
So that's just funny, I guess.
Well, because they are so popular,
Yeah,
and
she's very popular,
yeah,
and
it's
she's.
the
I mean,
popularity that
yeah,
counts.
and growing up, I loved watching her dramas. Like Marian Rivera's,
Yeah,
very
yeah.
beautiful. But yeah, and that makes me wonder, like, uh, in terms of, because to me, like when you were talking about like indie films asking you to do that, I feel like as someone who works in films here and who make an independent, well, it's just a short film, but it's technically an independent film.
Yeah.
I don't think I've heard of that kind of story before.
Okay.
At least from my
Um.
circle.
Actually,
I haven't.
I had a I have a friend
Mm-hmm.
who auditioned for a TV pilot,
Okay.
and then the director, who happened to be the lead guy, was trying to like, you know, hit up to her,
Mm,
yeah, kind of stuff. But yeah, that's why she stopped showing up
mm.
into that, and then I think they had to cast another lady to fill in her
Oh.
role. Yeah, because I think she wouldn't have left if things are controllable, but I think it went beyond. That's why she was like, "Oh, Brian, I'm quitting to this production because that perv."
Mm.
Yeah, so I thought it, well, since it's indie,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
but I
less
don't know, yeah,
regulated.
but I don't know how to profile indie here and
Yeah.
indie in the Philippines, because in the Philippines, if you are like, if you do indie, my impression is that you are 50% close to the mainstream, as opposed to
Mm,
this one. If you do indie, you're not even 10% of the expected success, because not
mm.
all indie filmmakers here are known, not all
Yeah.
indie filmmakers here are, are really pathway to mainstream. Some of these people are just, oh, I'm just doing this pilot, blah blah blah, but in reality, the niche is crap. I mean, you know what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah.
So they really are not people that would be your portal going to the next level, but they're just there
Just doing their own stuff.
doing their own
Yeah.
stuff, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in the Philippines, when you do independent film, that is actually like 50% pathway.
Okay.
So it's your make or break. If people from the Filipino masses love the independent film that you've done, then it is actually a good sign that your
Mm.
50% might increase going to your mainstream dream. Otherwise, you can just stick to independent film. If
Yeah.
anything, you're still gaining money anyway, and like a name for yourself.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And I noticed in even like known actors in the Philippines would still do
Yeah.
independent
Correct.
films.
Yeah, because decent indie films, they really do have like decent storyline, decent setting, plot, scripting, and all.
Mm.
You're gonna notice that if you watch something mainstream versus
Yeah.
indie, the indie, you would actually get lots of substance, but
Yeah.
with the mainstream one, the only, well, like 60% of the time, you will appreciate it because you follow this lead person, you follow the actor or the actress who's playing the role, and that's it.
Yeah.
And that's the market side of filming. And it is actually sad because for me, this is my impression, and I may be right, I may be wrong, and I know a lot of, especially people from the industry, would hear this or see this. They would definitely disagree, but since I've experienced it here in Australia, um, I saw why why Filipinos are having a hard time penetrating the Hollywood dream, because you know what I'm saying. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you would seldom see Filipinos do good in the industry, like famous. Well, of course, the exemption was like Lou Diamond Phillips, Charis Pampenko,
Mm-hmm.
the likes, Arnel Pineda. But if you're gonna think about like Bollywood, like
Yeah.
Bollywood, they're massive. I,
Yeah.
I just I
It's a
just watched.
massive industry.
Yeah, I just watched a Bollywood movie last night, and you know that majority of them are just CGIs.
Yeah.
But for them to invest on something
The
for their
effort.
film, the effort, and also without going out from their Indian niche, like the every after scene they'll be like,
Yeah.
"Mimi, could you you know the dance, the Bollywood dance, their trademark dance. They still do it.
Yeah.
They still do it. K-pops,
Mhm.
Korean novellas. Do you know why they're so popular? Because they have this certain trademark that they introduce to the world.
Yeah.
That when you do this, this is certified Bollywood,
Yeah.
and people would watch it, like Slumdog Millionaire.
Yeah.
It's an Indian film, but then the story behind it showcased the poverty, how dirty the who wants to be a millionaire kind of thing, but it still showcased the the Indian culture
Yeah.
of way of filming. Like there's this the dancing part, the singing and stuff, which make it their own.
Yeah.
Also with the K-pops, like the Korean movies, the Korean novellas, like they do this trademark cute thing,
Yeah.
which people around the world love. But with Philippines, we don't have this certain identity.
Mm.
We don't have the identity because we are so focused on what what is marketable. We are so focused on what Filipino masses would appreciate more than what we could showcase the world. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yeah.
So if I am a producer, I'm not gonna produce something that would, yeah, I can send it to film festivals, like a world scale film festivals, but then I'm not gonna get the profit out of it. Like it's for the prestige, yes,
Yeah.
but did I get money with my film and stuff? No. So might as well invest my time and effort to these popular people who has millions of followers, so that if I put a scrappy movie or film of them, people would still watch it because of them. And that's how they market it. That's why we're losing our identity. That's my take. But I can be wrong. But in my experience and with the way I see how things are being done here, as opposed to how I see it in the Philippines, I think what I said somehow made sense.
Yeah. And that reminds me of MMFF.
Hmm, exactly.
Again, growing up, as a child, I enjoyed watching and think of Isota because it's
Yeah,
fun. It's
exactly.
very funny.
Yeah,
It's what they call the pangmasa kind of
exactly. Yeah,
movie.
yeah. And
Um,
no disrespect
yeah,
to no
it's
disrespect
very
to
enjoyable.
yeah, it's enjoyable, but
It's
the plot, the setting of those
yeah.
storylines
Like
are,
now that I'm older, I
yeah,
realize.
that it's just the same,
Yeah.
like repetitive. They're just shuffling the superstars, like they're merging, or they're collaborating from GMA to ABS and
Yeah.
vice versa. The top stars, and then there's this Vice Ganda film collaborating with this and that, with Coco Martin, this and that. So yeah, that's because that's what makes money.
Mm.
Then that's what we're gonna do. Otherwise, a perfect example was during, I think that was way back 90s. There was this award-winning film,
Mm-hmm.
Muro Ami.
Sounds familiar.
Muro Ami. So it's a story of Bajau people,
Yeah.
who dives in the water for a living.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't watched the movie, and I don't know if that is a story about Bajau, but it's Muro Ami. I guess it makes sense. Um, they actually got all the major awards.
Mm-hmm.
The producer, he also won Best Actor, Best Film, everything, because he produced his own movie, and his goal was to make like a world class movie, and he was on point. Like he did it, he nailed it. He got all the awards, except for box office.
Mm,
He was the lowest grosser amongst all the movies,
yeah.
and I think he was 30 million peso loss into that movie. So he got all the awards, and when people were interviewing him, he was like, "Oh yeah, we got all the awards, but I'm not gonna do this anymore because
There's no money in it.
no money.
It's just
Everything,
trophies.
yeah, everything was, like he was like, I got all the awards, but monetary wise,
Yeah.
it was a loss. So I can keep on doing this,
Yeah.
yeah, because award is just an award, but at the end of the day, we need money to make more quality films. But if you don't have the funding
Yeah.
from your previous project to fund top-notch films that we could actually export in a world scale, then we don't have that. We will never have the capacity until we get out of that niche. In that sense.
Which is a sad reality.
Yeah. So again, people can hate me what I said, but that's how I
It's true.
yeah, that's how I see things now. Yeah.
As a filmmaker or film director, here in Australia, I inevitably had to like improve myself in terms of socially connecting with people, even though
Mm.
I'm naturally shy and introverted. And um like when I'm not sure what your impression of me was when we first met it.
Well, I thought you were shy. Yeah, I thought you
And
were
you were
shy.
correct.
I thought you were shy. Yeah.
Yeah, but you were like you feel very natural, you know, presenting and talking in front of the camera.
Yeah, well, on the contrary. So you said you're introvert. Um Actually, I'm a natural introvert as well. Would you believe?
No one would.
No,
I don't think
no.
anyone would believe
There's
it.
no way.
Yeah, but
Like you're really good at talking, but
um,
like,
so this is actually a skill that I had to learn.
mm,
This is a skill that I had to learn. So when I was working, can I say the company name?
just say whatever you want to
Just say
say.
whatever.
I
So
don't care.
when I was working for Globe Telecom,
Mm-hmm.
so I've been with Globe Telecom for, well, I, the general the general corporate life of me was in telecommunications company.
Mm,
So before I was a training supervisor
mm-hmm.
for different telcos, Globe Telecom, Viz Mobile in UK, and then even not a trainer here in Australia in Telstra.
What do you train them in?
So I train foundations, product, process, and tech.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So it's really broad. It's really broad. So as a training supervisor, so we are handling those trainers,
ah,
but we are also conducting trainings
mm-hmm.
for the managers, for the supervisors, and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just that we are the first line of um recipient of the information coming from the higher management. So whatever information, whatever product is being launched during that time, so we're the first people to know, and then we're gonna conduct like a training sheet or something, how we're gonna disseminate the information, how are we gonna train the people with this particular product launch or this particular process or this particular technical things and stuff.
Mm.
So that was my job, and I've been in the corporate world for 12 years.
Wow.
Yeah, for 12 years. Yeah. So different telecommunications company. Um so being in that industry, so like I said, I was a well, like I said, I'm an introvert. I really love my peace. I really love my alone time. If you're gonna give me a choice to be with someone, to walk outside, go to pub, uh walk in shops, I'm using term shops because of the Philippines we're saying mall.
Yeah.
Yeah, now shops. um yeah, if you give me if you give me an option between going out with people and staying at home, just playing like 2 3 days of nonstop, I'm more than happy to take the 3 days
Mhm.
of just playing, my PlayStation or PC game or whatever, because I find it so peaceful. That's my peace. That's where my my creative thinking, my creative me is flourishing. That refuels my energy,
Yeah.
as how they say it. So instead of me going on a holiday and stuff. So yeah, but me being like outspoken, like easy-go-lucky person. Well, being easy-go-lucky is a trait.
Mm-hmm.
It is natural. Like
It's
I'm easy.
different from being
Yeah,
introverted.
yeah. I'm easy to like get along with because I'm a happy person.
Yeah.
So it's a trait. It's a behavior. But me being someone who would actually open up a conversation with a stranger or with someone, it is a trained it is a trained behavior
Mm.
because of my job description before. Because you cannot be someone who couldn't break an ice in front of professionals.
Yeah.
if you are if you yourself is a corporate person, if you are especially if you are a corporate trainer,
Yeah.
because you will be dealing with hundreds and thousands of different behaviors. So therefore you have to learn the art of being a people person in that sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's surprisingly, yeah, no one aside from my real core friends,
Yeah.
they know that I'm introvert. Like I would love I can sit down in silence for hours, or I can just binge watch whatever
Yeah.
just by myself, and it's heaven for me.
We flourished
Yeah,
during the
yeah,
lockdowns.
yeah,
We were
yeah.
fine.
That's why I was like, oh, mental health, what? Oh, sorry. No disrespect to
Yeah,
those
it's
people
different
who
for like
it's
extroverted
different. Yeah,
people.
yeah. For extroverted people, then yeah, it's a challenge. But for me, like,
It's hard to
what?
it's hard to, I guess, relate to them,
Yeah,
to their experience.
yeah.
It's totally different.
Because during lockdown, yeah. Oh, I'm home. Yes. Oh, this is
I
my
don't have a reason to go
haven.
out.
Yeah. No reason to like mingle with people. No reason for small talks. Oh,
Yeah.
haven. Yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
This episode has turned like totally different from what I expected. I didn't know that we'd be talking about being introverted.
Yeah.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
I
I
feel
was
like
actually out off cam. I was laughing that I know you have your set of questions,
yeah.
but it became like
Yeah.
free flow
Oh, it's
driven.
fun. I love
Well,
this.
that's
Yeah.
that's the purpose of that's the purpose of having a podcast, if anything, because podcast should be free flow and not scripted ish.
Yeah.
In that sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. And I had a pretty similar experience of how I've developed my. I mean, I'm better, right? Compared to how you first met me.
Um.
Am I better? I feel like
Okay.
I was better.
So I'll
That was
I'll
2019.
I'll cite an example. When we were filming with the Pinoy Lounge,
Mm-hmm.
we never talked. We never talked. The only conversation we had was, "Hey, how are you, Kashi? I'm good. Oh yeah, we're rolling. Okay, thank you." That was it. That was it.
Yeah.
And then the only the only time we had a longer conversation was during the pangkat singing,
Mm,
the first one.
yeah.
So you were like, oh, so Keshi could actually speak. Keshi could actually talk. So okay, well, okay, yeah, maybe she has improved a bit. Yeah.
I mean, how many years has it been since we first met?
That was
2019.
2019. That was
Pangkat Sining would be 21 or
2022.
2? Yeah,
2022.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I have improved.
Yeah. And well, like I said, it's obviously because you've been exposed as well to like the events that you
Yeah.
covered, the
I was left
films
with
that
no
you
choice, Brian. I had no choice. If I could just stay quiet the whole time, I would.
Yeah, well, or unless you can actually hire someone to be your spokesperson,
You know,
your my
that's
secretary. Yeah.
it has actually affected like my style in photography
Mm,
because I would and to me it's I guess it's good kind of style that I just I sort of just use long lens most of the time, just take photos from the shadows and
yeah.
let them enjoy their time. Like I try not I blend in as much as possible, but not to the point that I would have to have like really close interaction with people
Right.
unless I have to take like group photos where I'd be like, okay everyone take photos.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it has I guess I've sort of find a way to mix the two, like the way that I have to do my job and my personality, and find the middle ground.
Correct,
So
correct.
it's
Yeah.
so I don't stress about it.
Yeah. And sometimes like, you know, our line of job calls for it,
Yeah.
and in this industry, if you don't talk to people, if you don't connect to people, then your network will
Yeah.
definitely not as big as how you want to project it.
That's what I realized
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
quickly.
Correct. Yeah.
That's
And
why I had to. But I just remember sometimes I would experience like um people would be like ask me like, oh, why are you not saying much, say something. And that would make me even more like imagine a snail going back into their the thing,
Shell.
the shell.
the show.
That's
Yeah.
how I feel when people ask me to speak more. It's like the
Yeah.
more that you ask me to speak more, the more that I wouldn't do it
Correct.
because
Correct.
it
Yeah.
doesn't feel natural.
Yeah. I actually kind of felt that, during the pangkat sini meetup. You're like, Brian, kamusta? How are you? You're like, okay, is Keshi trying to like open up something?
I was trying to talk.
Yeah. Oh, okay,
I
it's a
was
good
trying to
practice.
appear
Okay, yeah.
friendly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Fair. Fair. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember last time. Yeah, it was last time. I felt like I got like that doesn't feel right. The last conversation that we had could have been better.
Yeah. But
Maybe I should
it
have
was
practiced
good.
it in my head
Yeah.
first.
It was good. Like you were able to tell me about the food.
Mm-hmm.
The who was it? Your mom who
Yeah, it
cooked?
was my
Yeah, it was
mom.
your mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you told me about the food and stuff. So yeah, see, I still remember because that's how rare you speak. It leaves a mark.
Oh my god.
But yeah, well, you're doing good now. You're doing this
Mm-hmm.
podcast, so this actually, a good way
Yeah.
for you to open up a bit more because now you're facing the
Yeah.
camera as well.
Even though I'm doing it at the comfort of my own home.
Oh well, that's where
Yeah.
comfort and charity starts at home. So
Yeah. So what I guess what are we've talked about your experience in the Philippines.
mhm.
What would you say is like your favorite or most memorable or fun moments doing a commercial here in Australia?
It's actually connecting with people.
Mm-hmm.
So going back to being a sociable person, introvert. So they actually have a term for that. It is the somewhere in between.
Ambivert?
I think so.
I think that's
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
I think
very well
yeah, I think so.
knowledgeable
Yeah,
about
I
these
think so.
things.
Yeah. So I
Trying
think
to
I'm leaning
identify what
towards
it is.
that
Yeah.
niche. Yeah, I think I'm leaning towards that edge, like
Mhm.
somewhere between introvert and extrovert. Yeah. um the most enjoyable part of me doing this, not just the commercials, but this industry as a whole, is for me to meet people that would inspire me to do more. So I'll give you a perfect example. um the very first female that got paired up to me was Kalia Best. So Kalia is, in fact, a Channel 9 news anchor
Mhm.
slash a model agency handler slash an actor or acting class instructor, teacher. And she's like pretty. Of course, you wouldn't be a Channel 9 personality if you're not
Yeah.
pretty, yeah? And then she was the very first person that I got paired up with when we were doing Neighbors as an extra.
Mm.
Extra for someone who is in the industry, for someone who has this profile on national TV here in Australia, doing an extras job. I really got inspired by this person, and I asked her, "Why are you still doing this? Why are you still doing this? You already are established. Channel 9 is sending you to wherever. You are an anchor. You're an actual personality. Like, you are the goal of someone like me." And she was like, "I just enjoy what I'm doing. Extras, background, I may be no recognizable. I may be not recognizable. As long as I'm doing what I want, as long as I'm doing what I love doing, then I don't feel like I'm working."
Mm.
From someone who has the profile already, hearing that from people, like, so it's really humbling. It's really humbling, especially for people who has this high hopes. Like, for me, if I wanted to be, let's say, going back, if I'm in the Philippines, if I want to be an actor, the lifestyle of being a rich and famous person is the main goal.
Yeah.
Now it changed my view into this industry. Like, I'm making money out of it. I've met people just like Kalia, who's doing it out of passion. And not just her. I've worked with Liam Neeson. I've worked with, well, we were not in, in speaking term, but we had our small talk.
Mm.
Um, Liam Neeson, um, uh, the lady from Xena, the Warrior Princess,
Lucy Lawless.
Lucy Lawless. Yeah, Lucy Lawless. Um, just recently with the commercial that has been launched yesterday,
The one that you shared in your
the one that
Facebook?
I shared in Facebook. Those guys were actually reality TV personalities,
Mm-hmm.
and when they talk to me, as if I'm on their level,
Mm.
and I was like, "Oh, these people are really something." Like, it's way different from what I envisioned being a rich and famous actor, a personality, than compared to people that I met. I also worked with Tracy Harvey, Maddie K, the Ariana Grande. I just worked with Maddie K a few days ago, the
Mm-hmm.
Ariana Grande of Australia. And these people are so humble. These people are so like, "Yeah, I'm doing this. I'm doing this for passion. I'm doing this for the love of the craft, for the love of art." That is the best thing that happened to me in doing this industry. So going back, it gave me the point of view now that instead of reaching for that rich and famous goal, now I'm living the dream of monetizing out of the thing that I love, and I don't feel like working at all. The children's show, the commercials, everything. And it's let's face it, it's not like, well, you cannot live out of just being an actor, or being in the creative, unless you're on mainstream. But
Yeah.
this is substantial. Like, I was able to buy a house, so that means it's substantial.
Yep.
In that sense.
Parents listen.
So yeah, and the lifestyle, the way they approach life, the way they approach this industry is way different to how commoners, I call them commoners, like the regular people, commoners, how people.
Yeah, it's peasant. The right word is peasants.
Common.
Peasants.
The
Sorry.
common people?
Common people.
The normal
commoners.
people?
Sorry, because just a fun fact. When I do my training, I refer to my trainees as creatures. And they laugh, they crack it. That's why I have these terms like, you creatures are doing this,
Yeah.
like commoners, something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a fun fact. Yeah, yeah. These people are doing just exactly what they want, how they want it. Like, they're living life in their own terms, and that's what I want. The fame, money would definitely just come along if you go to
Yeah.
like mainstream. Of course, who wouldn't dream? If people, a lot of people are asking me, what's your goal being an actor? Hollywood. I could easily say Hollywood.
Mm.
If I'm talking to non-Filipinos, Hollywood. But if you talk to Filipinos, this is actually funny. 90% of the time, if people ask me, if a Filipino asks me, what is your job? I couldn't tell that I'm an actor. 90% of the time, people will be like, where, where, di nga. Oh, ano,
Because
gawa
it's
mo.
such like a, it's like when you
Because-
say you're an actor, it's like you're
Yeah.
there.
Because that's the mentality
Yeah.
back home. That's the mentality back home. So I'm not discrediting them for that one, but sometimes if you're gonna take it the wrong way, because there were a few
Yeah.
times before I took it the wrong way, like, what's your job? I do work in a production kind of stuff. So, are you a cameraman? No, I do act. Oh, or do you support the actor or something, or your background extra? Sometimes yes. Sometimes I'm on the lead. Really? So the face, the change of mood,
Yeah.
because they couldn't believe that someone, a Filipino, is actually doing it.
Yeah.
But then during the first few years, I was getting offended a bit, like emotional, like, why couldn't you guys support
Be
or
happy.
be happy or accept the fact that someone from the community is actually doing it?
Yeah.
But eventually I was like, nah, because it's the niche
Yeah.
that what Philippines has brought to us, like the culture that
Yeah.
if you say you are an actor, it'll be like, oh, the rich and famous John Lloyd, Katniel, or Ding Dong Dantes, or
Yeah.
whoever. So that's the impression instantly. But then now I'm in the point where I'm just gonna do it slowly but surely, baby steps. I may get the Hollywood dream, I may not get the Hollywood dream, but I'm living the dream at the moment, to be honest, like being an actor, making money out of it.
You said that Hollywood would be like your ultimate goal as an actor.
Mm-hmm.
What would be your dream role?
Oh, yeah,
And
good
is it
question.
in like what genre, what kind of character?
I wanted to be. So I wanted to be a Marvel superhero.
Oh, that
Yeah.
is pretty much
Yeah.
not a superhero, but I want to direct a superhero film.
Oh,
The first Filipino superhero film in Marvel.
Let's
Maybe
do
we
it.
should do something. Yeah?
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted. yeah. But realistically, I just want to be a a second stringer,
Mm-hmm.
like a supporting role, and that's what I've always been doing best. I noticed that I'm a good second stringer,
Mm.
like sidekick and stuff. With with the with the projects that I've done, I'm I think I have this timing. I think I don't know how other people sees it, but yeah, I think I got this timing to either make a comedic or dramatic or something iconic ish. Yeah. Realistically, I wanted to be I wanted to be like a second stringer of a
Of the
superstar
superhero.
of the superstar,
He can be
like,
like the sidekick.
or the sidekick. Yeah, you,
Yeah.
you know the what's his name, the Filipino guy in Spider-Man,
Ned.
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 You could be the
Yeah,
Ned to Spider Man.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be like, yeah,
Mm.
the Ned of Spider-Man, or I was actually wishing to be the first Asian,
Mm.
Marvel superhero, but obviously
They have one, but she's
Shang-Chi
a.
Shang-Chi beat me to it here. But it's Similu, so
Yeah.
who's gonna
There is one
hear?
that I feel like if we're talking about live action Filipinos superhero, there is one that's might be slightly closer to it, but she's a Filipina character. Have you heard of Wave?
Wave.
Yeah, she's a character in I think it's like the Young Avengers now.
Is it from
It's from a Marvel comic.
a comic?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
She's a very new character.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think she's new. Yeah, yeah.
I feel like she would be closer because she's yeah.
Mm.
Like if they're gonna do like a Young Avengers kind of film,
Yeah.
and if they're like expanding it to like the Asian
Correct. Correct.
superheroes, like,
Yeah.
except for like Shang-Chi and
Yeah, yeah.
other,
Actually,
yeah,
DC hasn't done an Asian superhero yet
yeah,
because Marvel, Shang-Chi is Marvel.
yeah.
So they have DC hasn't
I mean, you
done.
could go to DC instead.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If anything, I'm a DC person.
Yeah.
Biglang yeah. But yeah, being a second stringer of any movie of any big superstar, that's the goal. Like, that's the realistic goal for me.
Hmm.
The superstar being the superstar of a movie, nah, I don't think so. It's not that I'm like downgrading or underestimating myself, but I'm just being realistic. And it's actually another trait that I could impart to people, like, just set your expectations low. You can dream big,
Yeah.
but always expect for the worst. Because expectation kills. Like, if you expect something to happen and this expectation doesn't meet your standards, it will lead to frustration,
Yeah.
depression, and yeah. So might as well set a realistic goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, because some people will say, oh, you can dream. If you dream, you can achieve, blah blah blah.
Manifesting.
You can manifest. There's nothing wrong with doing that, but also we have to be realistic.
Yeah.
You know.
You're sort of doing it now, but this is something that I always ask my guests.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of tips or advice or message could you give to our fellow Filipinos here in Australia who might want to try working in, commercials or doing acting like you do?
Mm, just start from the scratch, from the very start. Because we're talking about Filipinos, yeah, because Filipinos have this, because of the fantasy that the Filipino media is feeding us, like, oh, this kid has been discovered, this one has been blah blah blah. So Filipinos became hopeful that, oh, I'm gonna be discovered one day, blah blah blah. Nah, these are all scripted, these are all planted. Just make your way up. There are some 1 or 2% who are legitimately discovered.
Yeah. Like those
But
that goes viral
yeah,
sometimes. Yeah.
yeah. But they're just make for me, if especially here in Australia, just be a background extra. Accept student films, like unpaid ones, or unpaid to, like, the low budget to unpaid ones, because this is where you can enhance your craft. Especially in my case, I didn't study acting. I don't have any, like, acting or background or degree or something. This is just me. This is how naturally I am. So what I present to camera, what I present to the film, the project, or whatever, this is just me. All me. No tricks, no nothing. And I learned these because I started from scratch. I got connected to people, and, you know, learning, absorbing the good and throwing out, the trash kind of stuff. Because you know yourself, you know what's good and what's not for you. And basically, it is you who's gonna drive your career to whatever path you would want to go, and focus on one niche. It's not, oh, I'm so talented, I'm so blah blah that I can do everything. Yeah, I wanted to be like that. I wanted to be a singer slash actor slash dancer, but it doesn't work that way. So you have to focus on one thing, and you just have to find your center. You have to find your inner core for you to flourish into that particular craft. And of course, set a realistic goal, and not overly dream or fantasizing of, like, oh, I can be on Hollywood like Johnny Depp, or like, whoever those famous people, John Lloyd, blah blah blah. So just set a realistic goal, and set a short term and then long term, and then if you missed, then just recalibrate. And with one interview that I've done, I also said just always show up, which what I'm doing at the moment. I always show up
On time, please.
on time. I always show up. Whether it's just an extra, so whatever role, because this is something interesting. If we still have time, I would have, like, explored what happened to some of my commercial gigs. Like, I was just cast as an extra, but then they changed the drawing board, and then I've been placed into being one of the leads.
Ah.
And it happened not just once, like 3 times. So you will never know what's gonna happen. So just show up. Show up in auditions, even if you feel like, I don't feel like doing the audition now.
Hmm.
I don't feel like, I'm not feeling well at the moment. But just show up. Just submit your self tape. Just do whatever you can at that moment. Because as soon as you receive the brief, the casting brief, you would instantly have the mood, the the characterization of what to do into that particular scenario. um if you let that pass, then it's not everything's not going to be natural. So just do it naturally, and just trust the process, I guess.
Well, there you go. I totally agree with that. And if I'm just gonna add like one more thing with that is, on top of just doing it and actually going to shoots and auditioning, work hard.
Yes,
Yeah,
of
because it's
course.
not easy.
Yeah, and be consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah, consistency is the key.
Yep. Well, thank you so much for that wonderful advice. And Kwentuhang, I really enjoyed that. I learned so much again. I feel like I'm saying that this podcast is for us to share valuable stories to the listeners, but I feel like it's more for me. Like I'm more stuff from doing this. But yeah,
Yeah, that's the beauty of it.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Kwentuhang. I hope
Yeah.
you enjoyed.
Of course. Thanks for having me. And I'm really glad that I was able to like these information like stories and stuff. I seldom them, but now it's gonna be on. So
You've signed the
yeah,
release
I
form.
signed the release form. So so good for me.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you and
Thank you.
goodbye.
Paalam.